If it was just one, maybe even two circuits, we could attribute it to mechanical or system failure. But the whole bridge... Shaking his head, he glanced at his wrist. Even my watch is dead. Yours? Gunner stared at the watch his wife had given him last month for their 10th wedding anniversary. The screen was blank. He blinked at it, tapped the glass. Nothing. The hairs on his arms bristled, adding to the dread crawling up his back. It was an EMP. It's happened exactly as they said it would when I was back in the Navy. Everything fried in an instant. Nelson leaned his palms on the blank GPS console. He huffed out a breath. It's the only explanation. Scraping his thoughts together, Gunner glared at Nelson. The air in the bridge seemed to crackle, loaded with static. But how could that be? The hull's solid metal. We're protected. Below decks, maybe. But up here on the bridge... Glancing to his left, Nelson's eyes bulged. And look. He pointed at the exit. The door was open. Cheryl, the middle-aged woman who'd been cleaning Rose of the Seas Bridge since its maiden voyage 25 years ago, was humming to herself and gliding a squeegee over the glass like it was the most important job on the cruise ship. The squeak of rubber was like nails scraping on Gunner's back. Nelson's face washed with a gray tinge. He slowly shook his head. We can't even sound an alarm. He jabbed the ship's horn button. The blast that usually blared from the loudspeakers could wake an entire island. Not this time. If... Nelson sucked a breath through clenched teeth. If I'm right, the whole world is... He clutched his chest. His eyes flared. Sir! Gunner ran to his aid. Nelson didn't just fall. He keeled sideways, smacked his head on a chair, and hit the floor without so much as a hand to halt his impact. Sir! Captain! Gunner dropped to his knees and turned Nelson over. His blue eyes were open, his mouth too. His protruding tongue was motionless. Gunner pressed his finger to the clammy skin beneath Nelson's neck, praying for a pulse. Nothing. Shit! Someone get the doctor! Gunner tilted the captain's head back, opening his airway, but the crew failed to move. Now! He hadn't meant to yell, but the fury behind it must have shocked Miguel into action, because the ship's quartermaster gasped and raced out of the bridge like he'd been torpedoed from the room. Gunner began compressions, pushing with all his weight behind his overlapping hands. 1, 2, 3... He'd only ever performed CPR on medical dummies. They'd never felt like this. This was too confronting, too real. The captain was a friend. They'd done their rookie cruise together 19 years ago, and they'd kept in touch ever since. Is he breathing? Without pausing his compressions, Gunner stared at the captain's lips, expecting them to move. They didn't. Someone check! Quick! 13, 14, 15... Third Officer J. Ellen Rockford fell to her knees and leaned her ear to the captain's lips. Easing back, she shook her head. Tears flooded her eyes. 24, 25. The bridge became silent. Too silent. Like a funeral parlor. Gunner jolted. Something else had stopped. The engines. This can't be happening. Gunner paused compressions, and J. Ellen gave 2 breaths into the captain's mouth. The 3 remaining staff stared at him, their eyes wide, their mouths open. Shock or dismay or disbelief had them rooted to the floor. But there was something else. Gunner's heart thudded against his ribs. Realization slammed into him like a wrecking ball. With the captain out of action, he was in charge of the ship. Him. Gunner McCrae. Captain. 1, 2, 3. He wasn't prepared. Far from it. This was his maiden voyage on Rose of the Sea. I've only just been promoted to staff captain, for Christ's sake. He worked damn hard, but it wasn't to rise up the ranks. No, he worked hard to keep his mind off his guilt. 16, 17... He was not worthy of this captaincy, of any captaincy.